Okay, guys. So after living in Canada for 5 years, and I think now 4 months, I still don't have a PR. I don't even have an invitation to apply for my PR, and that to me just wild. And I started out this process thinking that if I follow the steps through and through, I'll be okay, right? I think that, at least I thought that you know there's a template. Once you follow the template, you're gonna be okay. And boy, a girl in the ringer. Now, I don't want someone to listen to this video and think that it's all bad. There are people who migrated to Canada before me. There are people who migrated to Canada after me, and they have their PR. But things just not working out for a girl, and it's quite emotional. It's overwhelming. It's not knowing what the outcome is gonna be after accumulating, spending all of that money for your international student education and such. But yeah, so let's get down into what's going on. Let's get into what's going on. Let's first start out by sharing when I entered into the express entry pool. Now, again, for short, the express entry pool is that once you have skilled work experience, you can enter this express entry pool. But there are other factors that you can combine to give you more points while you're in the express entry pool. So your education from back home, as well as your education in Canada, your English score, your work experience, your age. And if you're married, even better, you get more score if you have a companion along the way. Unfortunately for me, I don't have that, so that section of my profile is empty. So with that being said, I entered the express entry pool May 2022. Now, I don't know if you did know or not, but in May 2022, the express entry pool was inactive. There weren't any draws from the pool, I think from September of 2021 to June or July of 2022. There was no draw from the express entry pool. So can you imagine, there are so many people entering into the pool, but no one was ever coming out of it. So I think at the time they resumed the express entry draw, they had over 2 million people in the pool. Because the idea of the pool is for people to get in and people to get out along the way, but that wasn't happening. So when I entered the pool, I think my accumulated points was 460. No, that's not a bad score. Actually, that's a pretty good score. That would have been a damn good score if people was going in and out of the pool the way how it was meant for it to happen. But what was happening along the way is that there are a lot of people entering into the pool who were highly skilled. Skill in terms of years worth of experience, or having master's degree or doctorate degrees, and 10, 15, 20 years of experience. However, and they entered into the pool, and obviously their scores are gonna be in the 500s, bro. 500. So when they resume the draw from the pool, I think the first initial draw from the pool in July, I want to say June or July because the months them near, I don't quite sure, but I don't want someone come for me. The first draw was 550 or 553, 550 something, the very first draw. So a person like me, you're like, so yo, damn, like when it's gonna come down to my number, because that's a fairly high score. That is just too high of a score. So now they resume it on the basis that it's meant to. Every 2 weeks on a Wednesday they have a draw, but I noticed that the score was never going down the way it usually would go down. So you have 553, and then you have 550, and then you have 550, 548, and then you have like 544, and you know, just a very small increment in decreasing points. So I'm like, damn, my work permit expire in November. So remember, we're in June, July now, you know, and my work permit expire in November. So I'm watching the score and I'm like, yo, I'm never gonna get my PR and an invitation to apply for my PR under these circumstances. So automatically my stress level up here, like high stress level, high, you know. So me I say, yo, what a game plan. I'm not a game plan. I'm not a game plan. So it's like my daddy, I'm in this panic. I'm in this panic. I'm in a panic from July, August, September. A girl a panic. But then the government released a public policy. And when you have a postgraduate work permit, once you are an international student, the work permit that you get after you graduate is a postgraduate work permit. Under normal circumstances, it's not renewable, it's not extendable. So once you get it one time, that's it. But the government released this policy that allowed us to extend it for 18 months. Assuming that your passport lasts up until 18 months. So if your passport didn't last up until 18 months, renew the passport and then apply for the work permit. And they did that before, I think, in 2021. But now we're in 2022 and they were offering it again, which I qualified for all right. A little pressure come off of me now, because I say, all right, I can extend my work permit. Good. Apply for my work permit in October. Apply for my work permit in October, and when you apply for the work permit, it sends you like an automated message saying that you have applied for your work permit and you can continue working until this date or until a decision has been made. The date on this letter is for 120 days from the day I've submitted the application for the extension. But in general, the processing time was 170 days. But the letter was for 120 days. So, all right, I said, all right, cool. I still get F. If you give me one letter for 120 days, you know that the processing time is 170 days. That's 50 more days that I am short of. Like, what am I going to tell my company? But if you go on the company IRCC website, it will actually read and say, well, you can actually work beyond the deadline of the letter. You actually can work until a decision has been made. But where I didn't know that, right? I didn't know that. So again, I was like, all right, I look a sense of relief. And mega all right. Got my new work permit. I'm missing a step into this conversation, and at the time I entered into the pool, the express entry pool was still under the NOC code. They have since changed that while I was in the express entry pool. So we had NOC code, and it was either, I think NOC O was like for upper management, and NOC B and NOC A and C, and you would have to be a B and higher for you to qualify as a skilled worker in the pool. But they changed that, and they changed it and put it into like a tier system. So now we have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5. And one of my job that was a NOC B was upgraded to an even higher score in the tier system. So my now 460 became 478. But again, they were pulling at intervals that were significantly like too small. The interval between the draws in terms of decreasing score was just too small. So I'm like, geez, a girl still not get her little bus in her life, because applying for your PR is one thing, you know, and then there's a interim time that, you know, the processing time to get it, then, you know, you take on another year and a half, probably 2 years between the date you apply for it and the day you actually receive it. So yeah, the last score since this video is, I think the last score now is 484, and remember I'm at 478. So that's 6 points in between what the last draw was and what my score is. The unfortunate thing is that my English score expires in 2 weeks. Actually, it expires next week. It expires next week. I had other documentation that I had prepared in advance for the submission of, applying for my PR, and they have expired. My police record expired. I think my medical probably would have expired as well, but I reached out to the doctor and she was mentioning that, hey, your thing is valid for 5 years instead of a year. So I think that's clear. But my English test expires, my English score expires, and the English test is $320. Yeah, I have an English test this week. I'm going to do it over. I mean, I don't have a choice, but I don't like paying for things that I've already completed. And I was just being proactive in gathering all of my documents, and then things just didn't work out the way how I thought they would have. And I feel like under normal circumstance, if we didn't have the vid and there weren't so many backlogs, I probably would have been okay. There are a lot of people who are promoting that, hey, you can probably go to a different province because, and I am suggesting that if you're thinking about migrating to Canada, and don't come to Ontario. Ontario have the hardest pathway to get to your PR. We can go to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. I think they have a critical pilot pathway that they have like 6 companies that you just need to work for those 6 companies in for six months, and then you can apply for your PR. I work for my company for 3 years and 4 months, and I don't have the option to do that. But needless to say, if you're coming to Canada, really think about the different pathways and different provinces that offer different things. Don't just come to Ontario, because that's kind of what I did. But when I did my application and when I moved to Canada, there was no vid, because we can't actually say out the words. So it's like YouTube have a problem with us saying the pandemic word, that, yeah. So it was a different moment in time when I come to Canada. So if you're doing things differently, you should do things differently. There are different things going on. Immigration is, wild. But hopefully I get an invite. Hopefully I get an invite before my English score expires, because I don't know, I'm a little bit uneasy. Not that I have to do it over or whatever. It's like, I just feel like I'm my time for shine. You know what I'm with? Anyways, my lunch break up. See you guys later.